morning, Wenatchee Valley. Good morning, North Central Washington. Thanks to everybody out there in television land for starting your day with us here, the NCW Life Channel way. This is Wake Up, Wenatchee Valley. We are broadcasting live from Studio 44 here in downtown Wenatchee. I am Dan Kuntz, your host, and we got a great show for you. Great hour-long show full of information and sports and some really cool guests coming in here in the second half of the show. They are back from Washington, D.C. Of course, I'm referring to Mariachi Hanachi, Ramon Rivera, and a couple of his musician/students will be joining us in the second half of the show to talk about their adventures in our nation's capital. Lots of cool pictures, lots of cool stories. We love it when Ramon pays us a visit. Today is no exception. He'll be on in the second half of the show. Our news director, Steve Hare, is back after a quick little 5-day vacation. Good to have Steve back in the saddle again. He's working on news. He's getting all caught up. You know how that is when you miss a couple of days of work. You got to, go through your emails and everything. So even though Steve is in the building and he's working really hard, he won't be joining me this morning. So Grant Olson will still be handling the news here in just a couple of minutes. Plus, of course, we have your weather forecast. Boy, did we have some wacky weather yesterday. We hit 69 degrees yesterday, which was much warmer than they were anticipating. When that big system came in and brought us the wind, we went from 52 to 69 in just a little over an hour. It was a very bizarre weather pattern. That all happened before noon. And those really strong winds, because remember, we had that wind advisory, didn't really develop, did it? And by the time the sun went down, we were pretty much done with the wind. But boy, are we going to be riding the weather roller coaster for about 7 or 8 days. Forecast details are coming up 2 minutes after the hour. Let's take you around North Central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley proper. There you are. We're closing in on standard time. We're still on daylight saving time. The first Sunday in November is when we go back to standard time. And then we won't have to worry about being so dark in the morning. But of course, it'll get darker quicker late in the afternoon. So we're not quite at sunrise yet, but it's still a beautiful sight as the mighty Columbia keeps right on rolling along. Camera number 2, and again, at this point, we find out together, you and I do, that is Birch Mountain. No, I'm sorry, it's Badger Mountain. I'm sorry, Badger Mountain. We don't have a camera on Birch Mountain. Maybe we should. That's Badger Mountain, way up there on the very top of the East Wenatchee Bench, looking down over the beautiful Wenatchee Valley. It's drawn back quite a bit. Beautiful view there. Lots of clouds, you'll see that. We've got some rain coming on, too, by the way, coming up. Steins, I believe. Yes, that is Steins. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Monitor. My bad. My bad, Caitlin. So that's the Monitor camera looking towards Cashmere. Beautiful Cashmere on this Wednesday morning. I guess I still need another cup of coffee. Finally, number 4, and that might be, is that Nanapoc? Yes, Nanapoc. One of our newer cameras up there in the Lake Wenatchee area. Gorgeous up there. I don't know if we're at the absolute peak of the fall colors or if it's a little too late, say in the upper elevations or places like Lake Wenatchee. Whether we have the fall colors and full bloom still up there. Here in the Wenatchee Valley proper, still got the trees doing their thing for this time of year. I love October. Yesterday was the opening day of the National Basketball Association regular season. So for you sports fans, this is that little moment over the next couple of weeks where all 4 major sports are in action. The NHL got going a couple weeks ago. NBA started yesterday. NFL, of course, is about 6-7 weeks into their season. And we have October baseball, the baseball playoffs. For you sports fans out there, it doesn't get any better than mid to late October. 4 minutes after the hour. Let's do your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. And as I mentioned, we're in for all kinds of different weather. It's going to do this and that and everything in between. A moist warm front is going to move into the region. It's going to bring moderate precipitation to the region today and then Thursday, and that's going to be followed by a cold front, which will be followed by a warm front. Did you follow all that? So slight chance of rain. Whatever rain we get today is going to be in the afternoon. Clouds all day today, high of 58, so considerably cooler than what we had yesterday. The overnight lows are much more bearable. We had overnight lows near the freezing mark in the Wenatchee Valley for a couple of days. Not going to be the case today because obviously the clouds will be holding the heat in the overnight hours. So 30% chance of rain today, 30% chance of rain tomorrow, 40% chance of rain on Thursday, 40% chance of rain Thursday night, Friday partly sunny, Saturday rain, Sunday mostly cloudy. So again, a moist warm front today brings a little bit of moderate precipitation followed by a cold front, as you see there on Saturday, followed by a warm front, followed by a cold front. It's back and forth we go. It is October, so you're going to have that kind of weather. Just all kinds of temperature extremes and all kinds of different weather. No day is really unlike it is, say, in July and August, when you pretty much know it's going to be every day of the week for weather forecast. October's another beast altogether. 5 minutes after the hour, we are broadcasting live here from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee. A quick 1-minute break, and then Grant Olson will have your Wednesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is State Representative Kerry Condata inviting you to check out our newest show on the NCW Life channel. We call it the 12th District. Each week, we'll be taking an in-depth look at various political issues that affect our area, our state, and the world. We'll be featuring local and statewide experts on the subject matter at hand. Please join us weekly for the 12th District with yours truly, Kerry Condata. Check your channel guide for times or go to ncwlife.com for details.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm Grant Olson in for Steve Hare with a look at your Wake Up Wenatchee Valley news update. Douglas County deputies responded to a hit and run involving a pedestrian in Rock Island Monday just before 7 p.m. According to a press release from Sheriff Harvey Jesdal, a 57-year-old Rock Island woman was walking her dogs at the intersection of Saunders and North Garden Avenue when a vehicle drove through the intersection and onto the sidewalk. The woman rolled up onto the hood of the vehicle and fell off the passenger side. The suspect vehicle pulled into a small trailer park, according to the woman, who was able to give deputies a good description of the vehicle and the driver. Deputies located the driver, who appeared to be intoxicated. According to the press release, deputies arrested 63-year-old Miguel R. Isidro of Rock Island for driving under the influence and hit and run. He was booked into the Chelan County Jail without incident. The victim was taken to Confluence Hospital, and according to Jesdal, her condition is unknown, but her injuries were not believed to be life-threatening. Chelan Fire and Rescue crews were dispatched to a possible structure fire yesterday morning around 4:30 a.m. after a neighbor spotted the fire on South Lakeshore Road. Initial reports from the scene reported a small brush fire adjacent to an outbuilding with no structures involved. Crews contained the fire in a matter of minutes. The neighbor who made the call to 911 attempted to contain the fire while waiting for fire response using domestic water to keep the fire from growing until those units arrived. The cause of the fire was determined to be from an electrical cord used to provide power to a camper located on that property. School was closed for a second day at Peshastin Dryden Elementary after E. coli bacteria was detected in the Peshastin Water District's water system. Classes were canceled both Monday and Tuesday after the Water District detected the bacteria on Friday and Saturday, issuing a boil advisory for its water customers until further notice. Bottled water is available for customers at the Peshastin Fire Station. The Water District posted to its Facebook page yesterday thanking the residents for their patience and apologizing for any inconveniences. Quote, "We are following all Department of Health procedures and are working closely with them to make sure our system gets back to normal as soon as possible," end quote. For more updates, continue to follow the Water District on Facebook. Washington State Patrol will start safety emphasis patrols today. This is a continuation of the Move Over law, which requires motorists to slow down and move over when coming up on a state trooper with a pulled over vehicle. An average of 2 patrol cars are struck every month in Washington State due to drivers failing to provide safe space for the officers. Over the weekend, the State Patrol released this video to spread the word about the emphasis patrols.
It may not seem fast or close to you, but 100 times a day we leave our office and put ourselves only a door away. An average of 2 patrol cars are struck and 1 trooper injured every month. It's Washington law that you slow down or move over when you see emergency lights ahead. We ask that while we're out here getting you and your family home safe every night, you help us get home safe to our families. Slow down and move over.
And that's your morning news update. I'm Grant Olson in for Steve Hare, and I hope you join me at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCW Life Evening News. Have a great Wednesday.
Thank you, Grant. We appreciate it. Once again, Steve will be back in this studio tomorrow. Quick little note, we mentioned that they had the boil water advisory for you customers of the Peshastin Water District. That has been lifted. So you don't have to boil your water anymore if you are a customer of the Peshastin Water District, and Peshastin Dryden Elementary School is back at it after taking a couple of days off. All right, 11 minutes after the hour. Quick break. When we come back, sports and everything else you're used to. You're watching Wake Up on Anchi Valley Wednesday edition on the NCW Live channel.
Antique Mall at Cashmere is Trade Dollar Coins' new location. Whether you're in search for coins, currency, gold, or silver, you'll find what you're looking for. From coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, find coins rarely seen from around the world. Whether you're buying or selling or need supplies, Trade Dollar Coins is the place to be. Located in Antique Mall at Cashmere. Open 7 days a week.
We've been in the cleaning industry for over 10 years, and we noticed a need in the housing market for reliable, professional, and specialized cleaning and finishing company.
They come in with spunk and personality, a lot of energy, and they take pride in their business.
We offer a wide array of cleaning solutions, no matter how big or small the job. Anything from new construction to move-in, move-outs, we do it all. Give us a call today to see how we can help you with your cleanup.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We are live from Studio 37 here in downtown Wenatchee. Let's take a look at your sports. Of course, it was a busy Tuesday, especially here at the TV station. Eastmont entertained West Valley in Big Nine soccer action last night at Wildcat Stadium. The two teams played a rather awkward first half until the Rams mounted a rally just before the break. Sebastian Malaga and Matt Wiesen had the call right here on the NCW Live channel.
Just pushed her in the back, gain a little bit of advantage.
There's the kick. Into the box we go, and Alonso sweats this one out. She's onside. This could be interesting. A quick run on the right side. Into the box we go. Gets past the goalkeeper. And on an empty net, cannot deliver a shot. She's going to try it again. Goal, 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 goal. A quick touch to the left. Bounce back. The shot. And a brilliant save by Alonso that was far more dangerous than it looked. And on the counter, and they're making a quick run behind the back of the defender. This could be interesting. There's a shot, goal, 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 goal. And there's Alonso. Caught a little bit out of position. This could be dangerous. There's the shot, and Alonso has to backtrack and fall on her keister to make that stop. There's the ball. Good over ball. The head of everybody. Good ball. Goal, 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 goal. Masterful stroke. This could be the last play of the game, and it is. The game is officially over with Eastmont losing to West Valley Yakima by a score of 3-0.
So the Wildcats have hit a little bit of a losing streak over the last couple of weeks. Otherwise, other places in soccer play, Wenatchee shut out Sunnyside 9-0. Maddie Smith with a couple of goals and an assist for the Panthers. Cashmere, wow, all over Chelan, 13-0. Danny Monroe with 3 goals and a couple of assists. And Bridgeport shut out Manson on the pitch, 2-0. Volleyball, lots of 3-0 scores as you see there. Wenatchee, no problems with Sunnyside. West Valley keeps rolling right along. West Valley is undefeated on the year. They dispatched the Wildcats. Chelan over Cashmere, and Soap Lake defeated Waterville Mansfield. Well, the Wenatchee Wild traveled to Salmon Arm, British Columbia for last night's BCHL game against the Silverbacks. The home squad raced out to a 2-0 lead with a couple of goals in the first period. After a scoreless second, Wenatchee came back to tie it up, only to have Salmon Arm retake the lead for good a minute later. Arch Ecker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network. We want to thank Hockey TV, by the way, for the highlights, and please forgive the audio problems with Arch's call on the first couple of goals.
Check thrown there, shot score. Trevor Adams, after the big check was thrown on the back wall. Corner deep inside the Wenatchee zone. Back out in front, shot and a score. And it came back instead to Iannone. Shot through traffic, score! Shot from the left point, and it changed directions on the way through. And I think Lippis may have got the last tip on it. The rebound, and stepping in was Modry, couldn't get it on. Held in by Zek. Zek in, shoots, he scores! Von Unger and Sternberg may have got a tip on that, but it gets popped down and held in by Mostat. A cross shot, what a stop there by Park. Loose puck and a score. Boy, after Park had just made an unbelievable save, the Silverbacks got a stick on it and just poked the slow roller underneath him.
For the Wild, they are back home this weekend. On Friday, they'll be hosting Surrey, and then they'll take on Penticton Saturday, both games at the Town Toyota Center. Well, Saturday night's 13-7 loss to Arizona State was costly for the University of Washington. They went from number 5 to number 12 in the AP poll, but also they lost their best offensive lineman to injury. Wenatchee's own Trey Adams will miss the rest of the season. He tore the anterior cruciate ligament in his right knee late in the first quarter. A lot of people think Adams is going to be a first or second round draft pick. He was making his 30th start for the Huskies in Saturday night's game. Later reports indicate Adams has said he will return for his senior season with the Dogs. Washington also lost cornerback Jordan Miller for the season. He broke his left ankle in the game's final minutes. October baseball. Let's go Yankees. Aaron Judge sparked New York's offense with a solo home run in the 7th inning, and then the Yankees batted all the way around, 4 runs in the 8th. And they beat Houston last night 6-4 at the Stadium. Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. The Wind evens the series at 2-2. Game 5 today, 2 o'clock. Dallas Keuchel will pitch for Houston. Masahiro Tanaka will go for the Yanks. Yu Darvish and the Dodgers dominant against the Cubs in Game 3 last night at Wrigley Field. LA now has a 3-0 series lead over the Cubbies. Darvish struck out 7 over 6 1/3, while Chris Taylor led the Dodgers offensively, had a home run and an RBI triple. Los Angeles can sweep the series with a win tonight in Chicago. Alex Wood, Jake Arrieta, those are the 2 opposing pitches. 6 o'clock first pitch on TBS. It is 18 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is No Beard Day. No beard. 86 it. If you got a beard, shave it. I did not shave this morning. I got a little bit of growth going. At one time in my youth, I had a beard. When I was about 24, 25, I grew a beard. And, as you might imagine, I looked distinguished in it. But there's that one section for guys, all guys who have ever grown a beard know this. There's that one time in the beard growing process when it starts growing back against the skin and it gets all itchy. And it was just annoying. So the second time I tried to grow a beard, I just said to heck with it. So I've been fairly clean shaven ever since. But if you have a beard today, get rid of it. Because remember, if you don't like the look, you can just grow it back. Happy, clean shaven, no beard day today. And a lot of people around the office here on the NCW Live channel in the building, there's a lot of people with beards, big beards. Evan and David and Eric. And this is a bearded group around here, I'm telling you. 19 minutes after the hour. How about today in history? It is October 18th. 166 years ago, October 18th, 1851, Herman Melville's novel Moby Dick was first published. It was published as The Whale. It made its debut in London, even though he wrote the book in the United States. It's, of course, considered maybe perhaps the great American novel. It is a fantastic book. Who's kidding who? Herman Melville didn't make any money on it. In fact, when Herman Melville died, the book was out of print. During his lifetime, Moby Dick only sold about 2,000 copies. It wasn't until long after Herman Melville passed away that the book began to grow in stature. Now, of course, it's pretty much a must-read for anybody even remotely interested in great literature. Moby Dick first hit bookstores, as it were, on this date in 1851. Today is the 150th anniversary of the United States taking possession of Alaska. In fact, it's a state holiday in Alaska today. It's celebrated as Alaska Day. Of course, there's the check. That's the actual check for $7.2 million that the United States made out to the Russians. It cleared the bank. It took a little while for all this to go on, so the check, if you look carefully, is dated August, but they actually took possession of Alaska on this date 150 years ago today. Congratulations. I will never forget this particular night. 40 years ago today, October 18th, 1977, Reggie Jackson hits 3 home runs off 3 different pitchers, and the New York Yankees beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 8-4 to win their 21st World Championship. Original Martinez Jackson was already known for his postseason heroics, but after this spectacular night in the Bronx 40 years ago today, he became, always and forever, Mr. October. I am guessing, I don't know, but knowing the Yankees, now they love to celebrate their history, my guessing is that gentleman that you see on screen will be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch this afternoon. I hope he does. And 38 years ago today, October 18th, 1979, the Federal Communications Commission allowed people to have those things without having a federal government license. C-band dishes. You remember C-band dishes? The big ones that moved around. Zzz. They became available commercially on this date 38 years ago. I had a C-band dish for a while. You can get about 600 channels just by moving the dish around and seeing what's going on. C-band dishes, of course, have completely fallen out of, they're still used professionally in many applications, but not so much for consumer use. But C-band satellite dishes, the precursor to what we have today, were first available in the marketplace on this date in 1979. And finally, birthdays at 21 minutes after the hour. We lost this gentleman earlier this year, of course, Chuck Berry, Chuck Charles Edward Anderson Berry, the great rocker and roller, alongside Buddy Holly, the 2 titans of the early years of rock and roll. This is what we do, and this is how we do it. Chuck Berry, of course, passed away a few months ago at the age of 90. Chuck Berry, born on this date in 1926. One thing about Chuck Berry, he was a controversial guy, no doubt about it, but you have to admire this about Chuck. He made enough money, he could live pretty much wherever he wanted to. Between record royalties and touring and all that stuff. Chuck Berry was born in St. Louis, lived just outside of St. Louis, and never left St. Louis. St. Louis was always his home. Chuck Berry, born on this date in 1926. The legendary actor George C. Scott, born on this date in 1927, passed away at the age of 71 in 1999. Dr. Strangelove, he was the best Ebenezer Scrooge, period, in A Christmas Carol. And of course, Patton, the first actor, of course, to refuse the Academy Award for Best Actor for Patton in 1970. He said it was strictly it wasn't a political statement or anything. He just said, it's acting. There's no competition in acting. George C. Scott will always be known, of course, as General Patton, was born in the state of 1927. Oh, let me tell you about Keith Jackson. The great sportscaster Keith Jackson celebrates his 89th birthday today, fully retired, living the good life in Southern California. Lots of Northwest connections with Keith, of course. He was born and raised in Georgia, but he graduated from Washington State University, worked at Como Radio and television for many, many years, was the voice of Husky football for a long, long time, eventually transitioned to ABC Sports, the voice of college football, and did a lot of other very, very important events as well. Oh, Nelly, let me tell you about the fumble. Keith Jackson is 89 years old today. Vince Lombardi called Forrest Gregg the greatest football player he ever coached, and that's good enough for most people. Forrest Gregg, Hall of Famer, one of 2 players to play on 6 World Championship teams. Forrest Gregg, the legendary football coach and player, is 84 years old today. And one of the 2 surviving members of the cast of Gilligan's Island, Dawn Wells, the American model and actress, is 79 years old today. Dawn Wells and Tilly Louise, Marianne and Ginger, are the last 2 surviving cast members from Gilligan's Island. Dawn Wells graduated from the University of Washington. She still acts. She does cabaret shows and traveling musicals. Dawn Wells, 79 years old today. Don't forget, if you know somebody celebrating a special day, you can submit them to us. Best way to do it is go to our Facebook page. Just go to our Facebook page and message us. And don't forget the photo. And we'll get your local celebrity's birthday on the air, all right? On Wake Up in Anchi Valley. 24 minutes after the hour. Don't forget, Ramon Rivera, the director of Mariachi Wenatchee, will be here. He brought 2 students with him. We'll talk about their incredible 4-day trip to Washington, D.C. last week. That'll be a fascinating conversation. And in just a couple of minutes, my all-time favorite, Everyone is Entitled to Mike Mignotti's Opinion. You're going to love it. It's 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Is this really what we're going to do on our girls' night out? We should go to Club Crow. The bar and grill in Kashmir?
Yeah, let's go.
Looking for a fun-filled, friendly hometown atmosphere? Club Crow Bar and Grill in Kashmir is the place to be. Hi, this is Justin. Here at Club Crow, we have full bar and restaurant, live music, a dance floor, pool tables, pull tabs, and live jam sessions the first Sunday of every month. Club Crow in Kashmir, the coolest place in town.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by First Choice Collision Center. Mini Maker Fair is a gathering of fascinating, curious people of all ages who enjoy learning and sharing what they can do. From engineers to artists to scientists to crafters, Mini Maker Fair is a venue for these makers to show hobbies, experiments, and projects. Glimpse the future and get inspired October 21 from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Snyder who had the reception, and now he collects the touchdown. Got on goal, Wenatchee scores. Reagan lines up a three. Yes! Oh my goodness!
Figure out where the line is, where they cover from.
West fighting on the bottom, and he got the pin. Swung on and hit hard to left field. Caught out there in left field. Get the shot. Yes! And Wenatchee Valley wins it.
On the NCW Life Channel, your local TV station.
Hi, my name's Emmy. And I'm Ashley. And we'd like to invite you to this year's Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair. It will be held on October 21st at the Wenatchee Convention Center, and guess what? It's free!
Wenatchee Mini Maker Fair allows people to show, sell, and demonstrate what they've made to the community.
This year there will be a variety of booths, everything from art to robotics, along with hands-on demonstrations and performances throughout the show. So bring your friends, bring your family, and come on down.
It's the end of summer. Time for Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore's end of summer free-for-all. Get to Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore now. Pick out any vehicle in stock and drive away with $0 down. Then keep driving payment-free until December. That's right, 3 full months with no payments. Who else is going to make an offer this good? Nobody. That's who. And everybody knows we service what we sell at the Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore. Corner on Maple Street and North Wenatchee Avenue in Wenatchee and LeonardEvansCars.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Grandstrom, host of Let's Learn here on the NCW Life Channel, a program where we learn about different topics. And on this particular series, it's Death and Die. It's a conversation that no one wants to have, but we're going to have it right here on the NCW Life Channel. So you're dead. Now what? We're going to learn all about the choices you have and the decisions you need to make. It's Let's Learn on the NCW Life Channel.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, pizza, it's a great food. Everybody, kids, old people, even liberals love pizza. I mean, the succulent dough, rich, spicy spaghetti gravy covered with mozzarella cheese. What could be better? But I got news for you. You don't put fruit on pizza. If you put pineapple on your pizza, call it a fruit cup a la mode. Call it pineapple pie. Call it any doggone friggin' thing you want, but don't call it pizza. I mean, you don't put tomato soup and American cheese on a piece of white bread and call it a taco, do you? No, so don't be an idiot. If it has pineapple on it, it ain't pizza. Okay, that's settled. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that is not my opinion. That is a fact.
Lake Chelan mailboxes find solutions and the best price for all your shipping needs, including UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service. We offer a variety of services including quality copies of all sizes, faxing, scanning, sending and receiving email, laminating, and notarizing. Enjoy browsing through our large selection of greeting cards. Lake Chelan Mailboxes supports our military, fire victims, and our community. Come see us at the Plaza in Lake Chelan.
Welcome to NCW Life News. I'm Grant Olson.
Of the NCW Life Legislative Hotline, I'm Steve Hare.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
And now, your weather forecast for north central Washington.
We're here at the downtown fire station right now.
Dry and warm weather pattern for Friday.
Considering that we're supposed to be 103 degrees today, how do you keep these guys cool?
And this just in, traffic is slowed in the Orondo area as firefighters attack a brush fire.
Right here on NCW Life News.
Pets are not your whole life, but they do make your life whole. At Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital, not only do they understand that fact, they live it every day. Dr. Bayes and her staff at Paws and Claws love dogs and cats so much they've dedicated their lives to the well-being of our four-legged friends. They offer compassionate care with a personal touch. Paws and Claws Veterinary Hospital on the corner of 4th and Nile in East Wenatchee, or call 888-PAWS. It's a spectacular good time all month long in Kashmir. Scarecrows will be waiting for you throughout the town. Silly ones, spooky ones, and everything in between. Yes, it's Scare Crazy in Kashmir. Bring the family and find the scarecrows all around Kashmir. And be sure to stop by these fine sponsors. The Antique Mall at Kashmir. Come find your treasure. And Club Crow Bar and Grill, home of the blues, brews, and barbecue. 31 minutes after the hour, we are live from Studio 44 in downtown Wenatchee on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. My guest today has an open invitation to come by and see me whenever he wants. And Ramon said, I'll come down on Wednesday and say hi because we want to talk about what you guys did October 10th through the 14th, Mariachi Wenatchee at their nation's capital. First of all, welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you.
And introduce our friend here.
This is Pilar, and she's our president of Mariachi Wenatchee. So she's one of my officers. So we're just, she wanted to come and be on your show. She's never been on your show, so, you know.
What do you think
so far?
Awesome.
What is the president of what does that role entail, president? What do you have to do?
Well, in general, it's just making sure everybody's on task and things are top notch and everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. So.
How did you get the job? Were you like vice president last year, so you automatically inherited it, or did Ramon just say you're it, or was there a vote? How did that work? How did you get the gig?
Well, first of all, you have to basically audition and give a speech and really sell yourself and say like what you're willing to offer towards the group leadership-wise. So we had to give a speech, and Mr. Ray chose me as one of the officers. So
we had 16 students apply for officers.
Wow,
so it's an honor to be an officer.
So to use, say, a marching band analogy, you would be like the drum major if it was a marching band. Well, that's considerable responsibility.
Yeah.
Do your fellow students pay attention to you when you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, all right. Before we start talking about the trip, and we got tons. This is the itinerary, by the way. Take us back in time. The genesis of this entire field trip. How did this whole thing come together?
Well, what happened was Congressman Riker always came and visited us every year and would come and talk to the kids and talk about leadership. And so I told him, for the last 3 years, I've been asking, how can we get to D.C.? He goes, well, let's try. And we tried and we tried. And so this year, all the stars aligned. He was able to talk to the Speaker of the House, Mr. Paul Ryan, and Mr. Paul Ryan sent an invitation to invite us to play for National Hispanic Heritage Month, which is September 15th to October 15th. So we were very honored to receive this invitation, and with the help of Congressman Riker, the Country Music Awards, the Country Music Association Foundation, and the National Music Association, a National Music Teacher Association, and in our community, we were able to raise enough money to send all 31 students to go. And it cost about $35,000, but it was just amazing experience for my students. And worth, I think we, from seeing the White House, from seeing the Library of Congress, to seeing the actual Constitution, I just got a shot of patriotism. I mean, I just even prouder to be American after that, because you just don't realize the sacrifice that many of our leaders gave. And one of the highlights was the kids went to the Air Force Memorial, and 3 busloads of World War II, Vietnam, and Korean veterans came out. And
just by coincidence?
Just by coincidence, we just happened to go to the memorial, and the kids shook each of their hands, said, thank you for your service, and the veterans were like, wow, you still remember us. So they had a great exchange, and then they were explaining like the names, and these are the people we flew with, and it was just a very touching moment. And it was a group from California. So, that way of bringing kids together, and also veterans and kids, I don't know, it was just a very emotional trip.
There are field trips, and then there are field trips.
Yes.
This was a field trip with a capital
Yes.
F. What stood out for you? Was there any one particular part of the trip that you're going to remember when you're 80 years old and a grandmother?
I would say the Kennedy Center, just because, one, it was beautiful, to say the least, and also our tour guide for that specific, like the Kennedy Center, she mentioned that John F. Kennedy really liked the whole idea of performing arts, and I thought that was really cool. So.
I'm casting an assumption here, but you correct me if I'm not. My guess is for the vast majority of Mariachi Wenatchee students, this is probably their first plane trip. Things like that.
About 20 of them, it was their first plane trip. So when we got on the plane, I started passing out gum. And they're like, "What are you passing out gum for?" You go, "You'll thank me later."
Yeah.
But yeah, because some of them never, been on it. And, the ears start popping and being on there and going through TSA and going through all the fun stuff. It was fun checking in 30 sombreros through TSA. I tell you how fun that is.
Well, not only sombreros, but you had to bring your instruments with you.
And
Yeah.
how long did that take?
It took a while.
But it was fun. It was fun. That's part of the experience.
You bussed from Wenatchee to SeaTac?
Yes, we bussed from, so that we could go through there, because I don't think our little planes here could take all our instruments. No, it was just
the itinerary is fascinating. There's 35 things here, and I'm amazed you crammed all that into the 4 days. Who was in charge of logistics, the itinerary, the bus, the plane? Did you have somebody helping you out?
Well, we had a...
that's a lot of work.
Yes, we had a company called World Strides that helped us organize everything, but it was not just me, it was the congressman's office. He took care of a lot of the details because, there's offices in D.C., like he was able to give us tickets to the Holocaust Museum and tickets to this, and I think anytime you go to D.C., you should contact your congressman's office, because
That's what they're there for.
they could bend over backwards and show us places that only a United States congressman could go. And that was part of the greatest thing, is that Reichert that afternoon took us everywhere. Took us to gavel coverage, and he showed us his voting card. I mean, he just took us places, because he, as a United States Congress, you go wherever you want in the U.S. Capitol, and he took us everywhere. And so him personally and his staff went above and beyond. And our tour director from the travel company, he was amazing. He was the one who helped us stick all those 35 things in there. It helps when somebody knows the town.
So what Ramon is so delicately trying to say is between October 10th and 14th, Congressman Reichert didn't get a lot done. I'm kidding. The congressman has a great sense of humor.
The congressman is great. I am a fan, and I think he's one of the greatest congressmen there is, because he really believes in the kids.
Did you guys get a chance to play it all during? I mean, this is a lot of riding around in buses. When did the actual music fit into all this?
I think we played the second day we were there. It was a little nerve-wracking, but overall it was a fun experience.
Where physically did you guys perform music at in the nation's capital?
We played at the U.S. Capitol. We
Inside
played
the Capitol?
Yes, we played in the Capitol. Well, see, Congressman Reichert is one of the chairs for the Ways and Means Committee.
That's the people who control the money.
Yeah, the people who control the money. And so he was able to have a reception at the Ways and Committee room, which is huge. Mm-hmm. And so he invited congressmen and women from all over the United States to come and watch us perform. And we were very fortunate to have, of course, Congressman Reichert and the Speaker, and also Congressman Newhouse came from our district. But there were people from congressmen from Florida, from Tennessee, from Nashville, from all over the place to see us perform. The biggest moment for me and the kids, I think, was to play the national anthem for it in the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. It doesn't get better than that to play. We learned the Star Spangled Banner, and it was just, you get chills, because to play that song in our nation's capital and for National Hispanic Heritage Month, what a great honor. And it was great that people from around the country came to see the kids perform.
Learning the Star Spangled Banner is not easy to play for anybody. It's difficult to sing, and it's got all kinds of, it's a strange key, it's bizarre. Who decided on what songs to play outside of the Star Spangled Banner? What else did you play? Who decided what the itinerary was going to be? How much practice did you do? Because the last thing you want to do is perform in front of all of these important lawmakers and screw up. So, how was that decision made? Address that.
Well, overall, I feel like Mr. Rera and really the whole class kind of decided on which songs would be played other than like the anthem and whatnot. But I think it was overall like as a group, and we
wanted to show a good mix of mariachi music, because I think a lot of times it's folk music, it's not real music, but I think they really saw that these guys are amazing players. What was really neat was the congressman's office streamed the whole performance live on his Facebook, and the Country Music Association streamed it, and the National Music Association streamed it. Then other people streamed it. Our school district streamed it. So people from across the country, I think the last thing I saw was at 20,000 views. 20,000 people across the nation saw it.
And I was one of them.
Yeah, you were one of them. And I don't think that was a prouder moment that with the power of Facebook that people are able to stream this live, and I know your Facebook streamed it too. But I mean, how cool is that? That we're so far away, and people wanted to see the performance, and all I saw was just great comments from people around the country, and how proud they are of our kids to perform in our nation's capital.
You brought another student with you, and we're going to take a commercial break and bring her on, and we're also going to show some pictures. Question for you: at what point during this trip was the epiphany like, wow, we're really doing this? That's actually the Capitol building. That's actually the Washington Monument. Did you have a gee whiz moment there?
I did, like, especially when we were like actually at the main Capitol building. We see the rotunda and all that stuff. I thought it was beautiful, just the like very intricate detail that everything had. So that was really beautiful.
You brought a bunch of pictures with you. Let's go ahead and throw up a couple, and you can just tell folks at home what they're looking at there, Ramon. Real quickly.
Right. This is, the minute we got off the plane, we went directly to the White House. We had a White House tour, especially by Congressman Reichert. There's Tyler, his assistant, and this is just, isn't it cool just to take a picture in front of the White House, our nation's capital? I just thought, what a proud moment. From Wenatchee, Washington to the White House, you can't beat that.
Did you pop into the Oval Office and say hi to President Trump?
I did, but he was kind of busy.
He was a little busy. Let's throw up another picture. That, of course, is the Lincoln Memorial.
Well, just, you know, when I saw on the side of his memorial, and it said, all men are created equal. I mean, there was no greater president than President Lincoln. And for him, to see that, and the guy who freed slaves and who ended the Civil War and brought this country together, it was very emotional to be there.
I'm a big fan of Rutherford B. Hayes. I think he's number one, but we won't get into that. Kayla, let's throw one more picture. That is that's maybe my favorite photo.
Yes, it's beautiful. So the minute we saw the U.S. Capitol, we were like, wow. I mean, there was like wow moments, but to get the kids in full uniform and with our principal, Mr. Anderson.
Eric Anderson would talk about that real quick.
Well, our principal, he's actually from D.C. He was born in D.C., so he goes, can I go? And I said, I would love the principal to go. And it was a proud moment for him because they were just bragging about Wenatchee High School. I mean, bragging in Wenatchee. And first I was saying, oh, we are from Seattle. He said, don't say that, we're from Wenatchee. And so people got to know where Wenatchee is. So I was proud of the support of our administration. And we love your sister, BJ. She's number one. Hi, BJ.
I know she's watching.
I know she's watching. I love BJ. She's number one.
It's 43 minutes after the hour. We're going to let you exit the stage here for just a little bit. And not quite yet. You got to wait till we get to the commercials. And who's going to be joining us on the second?
We have Kelly, who's our vice president, who's going to be joining us on there.
More with Ramon and Mariachi Wenatchee and their great trip to Washington, D.C. We've just barely scratched the surface. We got a lot more to talk about. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
When it comes to tough, versatile workhorses, nothing compares to Kubota's full line of RTV series utility vehicles. Engineered to last and designed to deliver, Kubota's RTV X series doesn't just lead the way on rugged dependability, it leads the pack. From big jobs to small projects and daily chores. Choose from America's top-selling family of diesel utility vehicles to help you do it all.
The Kubota dealer in North Central Washington is Valley Tractor and Equipment in the Baker Flats Industrial Park, East Wenatchee. And we are back with Ramon Rivera, the Director of Mariachi Wenatchee, and the Vice President. Ramon, please introduce.
This is Kelly, and Kelly's our Vice President, and she, you met Pilar, our President, so part of their job is to do PR, and do interviews and represent the group well, and I think Pilar did a great job, and now we get to hear from Kelly.
You're Vice President, so you're automatically President next year, or what? I forgot. I've lost track.
She graduates. She's a
you
senior.
graduate.
Both
Okay.
these are seniors. It's
Okay.
sad.
You're going to miss them, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to miss
But
Kelly.
you got 300 kids in the program.
Know, but these guys are superstars. All of it. Each of my students are superstars. So it hurts every year when graduation time comes.
Yeah, I know it does. So you did, this is the itinerary. It was a 4-day trip, 35 different stops over 4 days.
Yes.
So that's a whirlwind.
Well, you know me, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to make sure the kids see everything. And some of those things we just got to see, like for 15 minutes and 10 and half an hour. But the tour bus used a lot of gas. Believe me, they went everywhere. And I was so proud that the kids were able to fit all that in, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Highlight for you, Kelly, what was your favorite part of the excursion?
My favorite part would be, I think, the Arlington Cemetery. I think we experienced one of the, I don't know what it was called, but they took one of the
guards.
Yeah, and it was really powerful.
So you got to play a little bit of music, but most of this was sightseeing and things like that.
Yes.
And you had, we mentioned before, Eric Anderson, the principal of Wenatchee High School, escorted, along with your friend of mine, John McQuaig.
Yeah, John McQuaig was awesome. Well, and we also had Lucy Garcia, who's a teacher at Lewis and Clark, and we also have Maribel Covarrubias was a parent. So we had plenty of chaperones and had a great time. But what it wasn't a prouder moment for Wenatchee, because that Thursday when we met all our legislators, they were so proud of what these students have done. And it was just a great way to let our legislators know what a great program we have here in Wenatchee.
And the fact that you did 35 things in 4 days meant it was very structured. There wasn't a lot of downtime, was there? It was pretty much go, 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 go. But that's the way you should do it. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much downtime did you have?
Well, when we came back to the hotel, I think it was 30 minutes.
That was it, huh?
Yep, and why not? We're in D.C. I mean, to see this. I mean, there's the Smithsonian, there's the memorials, there's the Kennedy Center. I mean, it's just nonstop. The Holocaust Museum. I mean, there was so much to see. I mean, we could have spent another 4 days and saw more stuff, but
well, let's raise another 34
Yeah,
grand
let's
and
do
push
it.
it
Let's
on
do
an
it.
airplane.
Let's do it. Let's go back. Let's go back in the spring.
Let's take a look at some more photos that Ramon brought with him from the trip to D.C. Great photo there. That is Congressman Scalise in the middle. Of
yes.
course, was very critically injured during that shooting back in June. That must have been a cool moment.
Well, he was doing a Fox News interview on the other side. What's really cool in the Fox interview, you could see us in the back, and I went to ask to see. I went to his assistant and see if he would take a picture, but you know, I'm not a congressman, so what
but
happened
you're
is
Ramon.
I'm
You're
Ramon,
hard to say no to.
But I was really proud because I asked Congressman Reichert. I said, "Can we get to meet congressman, and he called him over. Hey, Steve, come here and take a picture with my kids. And so it was a touching moment. And I thought he was in a wheelchair, but he actually stood up. And he got up, he goes, I'm going to stand up for the kids. So that was a touching moment for us. And I got to tell the kids his story, and it was really emotional for all of us.
It's a beautiful picture, but before we take that down, there's a lady there in the black and white striped blouse and the yellow dress. Explain her role in all this.
We have the Country Music Association Foundation. I won as a CMA National Teacher of the Year. Last year, I'm Teacher of Excellence. They chose 6 teachers in the nation. And with those 6 teachers, they work with the schools and they become a CMA school. And so they found out what I was doing and they said, can we come? And they brought the CEO of they're getting ready for the Country Music Awards in 2 weeks, but they said they love promoting music education. So that's Tiffany Kearns, and she's an amazing lady and a great advocate for music education. I was so proud that she was able to be there.
Let's go to another picture from your trip from Washington, D.C. Or do we have any more, Caitlin?
Well, this is a picture with Speaker Ryan. Okay. And Speaker Ryan was amazing to meet with because, he's probably one of the busiest men in Washington, D.C., but he gave us about 15 minutes of his time. And when he came in, he shook the hand of each of the kids. Wow. And you saw, that's a great photo. See, that's my cell phone, so my cell phone's famous. What happened? Well, what happened was with the speaker, I was trying to get the phone setting correct and all this, and he saw, hey, Ramon, give me your phone, and I'm like, no, I want to take the picture. He goes, no, let me take the picture. And he goes, my arm is longer. And so everybody was laughing. And so we were able to take a selfie with the congressman, with the speaker, and what an honor that is for us. I mean, you could see that moment. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's had a good time.
Every picture, everybody's having a good time. There's not a forced smile there.
No. We were, I think, from ear to ear. And then, of course, with our Congressman Reichert, he said this is one of his proudest moments of having us come down here, because it's been about a 3-year goal, we've been working, and all it took was one visit to my students, and he was hooked. He says, I want to help these kids.
Congressman Reichert is going to be right here in the Wenatchee Valley tomorrow. Talk about that. Tomorrow.
So tomorrow, Congressman Reichert's coming to my classroom again for the 4th and 5th time.
I think he knows the way.
Yeah, he knows. He goes, I'm going to your classroom, 103. But the point is tomorrow he has a special recognition from the White House that he's bringing personally. Didn't tell me what it is, but I know that NCW Life is going to be there, Wenatchee World, and KPQ. And what was really cool was that we get to end this whole journey with Congressman Reichert coming back full circle. You can't beat that. And also, the other thing is that the whole school celebrated, and the send-off that we had. I mean, you were there for I was glad that North Central Washington Life is always there, but they were there for the send-off.
That was cool too, the parade through the hallway.
What was about that?
It was actually really nerve-wracking for me because everybody was cheering and they were happy and they were like, yeah, go, but.
So they stopped school at the end of the day, 5 minutes, they ended school early for us, a non-athletic team. Because usually it's when kids go to state or with the football team or the baseball team or the softball team. But they had the Golden Apple Band, the cheerleaders escort the kids to the bus, and everyone came to the hallways. What a magic moment for our kids. So
Kelly, you're going to graduate. Mm-hmm. What are you taking with you on the next step in life that Mariachi Hanachi gave you?
A lot, actually. I was really shy, so now I'm just kind of, out there and really bubbly, and that's so different than what I used to be. I also learned how to do a lot, manage my time, because with Mariachi Wenatchee, you have to be, on your grades because you're going to be gone so much. We just got back from D.C., and we're leaving this Friday again, and then from there on, we just keep leaving.
Where are you going Friday?
They're playing in Walla Walla for the Saturday and Sunday. They're going to play for our Day of the Dead celebration. Okay. So, because it's October, so it's the Day of the Dead month, and so It's a great celebration. We go to Walla Walla. They're world travelers, man. They're world
Yeah,
travelers.
they're everywhere now.
Yes.
One other people I think we need to thank, and that is, we talked about there were field trips and there are field trips. Anytime any group organization affiliated with the Wenatchee School District takes a field trip, you got to fill out forms and you have to get permission from the school board. And they were on from the get-go.
Next Tuesday, I'm going to be at the school board meeting. They gave me 10 minutes. They said, make sure it's only 10 minutes, Ramon. But
Ramon will take 20.
I will take 20, but I promised our superintendent that I would only do 10. But I'm going to be taking our students and thanking the school board, but also showing them those great pictures that we took and showing them the 35 things that we did. And it took a village for all of us to go. So it wasn't just, what I love it was Republicans and Democrats and independents and senior centers and schools. I had schools like John Newberry School. They had a bowl in their front office, and people would just donate, and they send it to me. They send it to our school. I mean, it's just, what is this? The whole community stepped up so that these kids could all go to Washington, D.C.
A number of reporters spoke to you about this great trip. Most of them, as we mentioned, we talked about this off camera, were trying to politicize this just a little bit, weren't they?
Well, and I had people that told me not to go and told me said that, because of what the president said or because of what the speaker said or because of that. And, I think we're above that. These are kids, and this is our nation's capital. And I think we should be able to visit our nation's capital no matter who's in power, whoever's this, because I don't believe this was a political trip. We're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, music, art, and culture, and that's what I'm about. I'm not about politics. I was just proud that people, the majority of people kept that out and saw the kids as kids and enjoyed their music and celebrate Hispanic culture and on a holiday on a month that President Reagan started in the 1980s. So I'm just, what an honor, and for Congressman Riker to come back full circle and to, I mean, he really loves the kids. He knew the kid's name. He goes, "Hi, Junior. Hi, Kelly." I mean, what congressman knows the student's name? So I'm impressed.
We got about 3 minutes left. Decompression is all over. You guys have been back for about 3-4 days now. Is everybody back to work now and back to playing? And
we're still getting used to this time zone.
Well, the thing is that everywhere I go, the community's like, "I saw you on Facebook. I saw the pictures. I saw you in the newspaper. We are so proud of you. We are so proud of your kids. You made Wenatchee, you put Wenatchee on the map." And there's no other greater feeling that to have our community. I mean, going to Safeway, they were telling me, we read your article, congratulations. We're so proud of the kids. There's no greater sense of community. And that's why I love living here in the Wenatchee Valley, because they support the kids and they support the arts, and they said they were so proud. And it took a whole village to make this trip possible, but it's because of people like you and the school board and the Country Music Association. I mean, it's going to be unforgettable. This is something that they'll never, ever forget.
this is going to sound like a silly question in the short time we have left. We know you're going to Walla Walla, a city so nice that they named it twice. Now what? I mean, you guys just,
Carnegie Hall. I don't know. Why not?
Fundraising
The UN.
today.
The UN.
The
Now
UN.
we got to play for the UN.
We're gonna
My
send the
principal
kids
said,
to New York City next
I would
year."
love to go to Tennessee. I want to take them to the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, there's tons. I don't know. It'll be hard to top this. It'll be really hard to top this.
You're going to take home a lifetime of memories. This is something that you will never forget. I remember when I was a senior at little old Winnetachee High School, and Ramon shoved us all in a bus, and we took a plane, and we went to Washington, D.C. Because everybody should visit our nation's capital.
It was beautiful. I mean, the buildings, see the actual Constitution, that was...
When can we have about a minute left. When can we see Mariachi Wenatchee perform again? I want you to pick up the instruments and do it.
Well, we have our...
Here in town.
We have our winter concert December 8th and Wenatchee High School. And we also, in March, we have our Mariachi Northwest Festival, which I'll be back on your show to
You're
promote.
the director of that, right?
Yes, I'm on there, and it's on March 23rd at the Town Toyota Center. And you could go on our Facebook, Wenatchee High School Mariachi, Mariachi Wenatchee, Twitter, Instagram, WHS Mariachi, for the latest updates. But I just want to thank the Wenatchee Valley and thank everyone who gave from $1 to $100 to $5,000 to make this trip possible.
These kids got to go to school. You got to go to work. Ramon, thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great Wednesday.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.